Hey guys, it's me, Cali. Today I'm going to share with you how I created this really cool page for the August Mission Inspiration Facebook group hosted by Mike Deakin. Every month he gives us a list of prompts, and based on those prompts we create a journal page. So this is what I came up with, and I would love it if you'd stick around and I'll show you how I did it. Let's get started. As per usual, I'm using my Delusions journal by Ranger. I have not gessoed the page. All I did was put down some masking tape here. And our first prompt is to cover your page with book text fragments. So I have some dictionary page, and I also have some book page. I've gotten some Happy Mail. I'm going to use my Americana decoupage matte medium, and I have some in my palette dish, and I'm literally just going to put some down and rip up strips of the paper, and I will be covering the entire page, which is my favorite thing to do anyway. So I'll just do this. Okay. Pretty simple. Kind of random, if there is such a thing with me. Okay guys, so I'm going to continue this off camera and fill up the page, and when that's done I'll be back and show you what we're looking like. I let this dry overnight so it's nice and dry, and our next step is to make it wet again. So we're going to add a thin wash of paint or gesso. I have my Liquitex Basics, and I've sprayed it down with some water, just mixed it up in my old palette dish here, and we're going to lay down a thin wash all over this yummy book page. And let that dry. Come back with the third step. Okay, that's it. Wasn't that exciting? See you when this is dry. Okay, our gesso's nice and dry now, and you can really barely even see it on there, but there it is. And our next prompt is to stamp over your page with ink or paint. So I've decided to use paint, and the recommended colors for this month's challenge are buttermilk, warm gray, and peach. Like here is the list here. I'm not going there. They're, those are lovely colors, but I'm feeling a little bit of this apple barrel. It's called Laguna, but to me it looks like a teal, and I've watered this down. So I have this piece of foam that I got in some Happy Mail. It's like embossed foam, and I'm going to use this as a stamp. I've never used it before, but let's just paint on it and see what happens. I'm going to just kind of lightly go over it and cover up our page, and we'll see how that looks. And if I want to add a different color once this is dry, then I'll do that, but for now I love the swirls on this, and can't go wrong with teal. So let's just I don't want to press too hard. Well, I really like that. I think the paint was a little runny, so that's why the image isn't very crisp, but I'm digging that. So I'm going to cover the whole page. I'll just do like 4 spots, and when that's dry we'll come back and see if I want to add another color or not. So our next step is to add 1 or more focal images. And I went through my stash and nothing was really calling out to me, so I decided to draw something. Just using a piece of my Canson mixed media paper, and I'm going to draw out a hamsa hand. I'm going to look at some images on Google and just draw these out. This is a protective symbol And usually they may have an eye here and designs like a henna pattern or something. So I just have a pencil and I'm going to sketch out some designs, maybe do an eye, and color it in and cut it out and then adhere it down. I think that's where I'm at for right now. We'll see where this winds up. So I'll see you back here when that progress. Like I said, I went on Google and searched Hamsa images and then just used some for inspiration. So this is pencil right now, and I think I'm going to do a combination of marker, like alcohol markers, and maybe some colored pencil, and color it in. And I'll let you know what I decided when I decided. My Inktense pencils, and these are like, you know, colored pencils that dry permanent when they're activated. So you just color them on, and I've used the colors of the rainbow. And then once you color them, you just take your water brush or some water on a Q-tip or your finger and activate it like that. And once they're dry, they're permanent. So I'm just starting to color this in, and then I'll go over it probably with some kind of a black marker to outline everything. Yeah, so just keeping it Inktense watercolor with some colored pencils. These are Raffine, if that means anything. I'll put links to everything I use, as always, in the description box below. But the next thing I'm going to do is just outline around this a little bit, and I'll probably use either a Sharpie or, I love these Uniball pens. I have a white one, and this is a black, kind of a fine line. So I'm just going to outline and put the swirls in and things like that. I don't know why I'm spending so much time on this vocal image, honestly, because we have a lot more prompts to go and it's probably going to get covered up. But I just felt like doing it. So here we are, and I'll see you back here when the outlining's done and I have it all cut out. Super happy with the way this came out. I hope the camera's doing justice to the colors. I just took a picture of this because I want to save it, because like I said, we're probably going to be covering it up at some point, but really happy with it. I initially outlined everything with the small Uniball pen, and I thought the lines were a little too delicate, so I definitely went over with the Sharpie, and I love the way that looks. So next step, I'm gonna cut it out, and we're gonna use my good old Americana decoupage matte medium and glue it down. And the good thing again about those Inktense pencils and the Sharpie as well is that it's permanent ink, so they won't run. So I'll see you back here when that's all glued down and dried, and we'll move on to the next prompt. Okay, while this dries, we may as well just move on to the next step, and that is to add washi tape or patterned paper strips. The washi tape that I have, I'm not feeling at all for this project. So I went in my stash of paper and I pulled out some various things I've gotten in Happy Mail, and I'm going to not cut straight strips but just kind of rip them, you know. And before I do that, I'm going to use my DecoArt Media Misters to just add some more blue, and this is primary cyan and this is turquoise, and I'm going to spray, I'll show you quick, and just kind of add a little bit more to the piece. Alright, so I'm going to spray some of these and I'll rip up some strips, and then I'll add them to maybe I'll add them to the project. What do you think about that idea? That's what I felt like doing. Oh, I love it. Okay, so I'll be using these. I'll rip them up, and maybe I'll give this a little spritz too, and we'll intersperse some of this, and I'll be back when that's done. Exactly what I said, and just ripped up the strips of the two different papers, and I used Elmer's glue stick this time to put them down, instead of dragging out the Mod Podge again, and I like it. So let's move on. Our next prompt is to add texture paste through a stencil. I've already gone through my stash and I'm decided on these patio paint home and garden stencils. I got these through Deco Art, and I'm going to use this little guy here, and I'll just show you how I'm going to do one and I'll do the rest off camera. I'm just going to do a couple of these. I'll put that here, and I'm using some Liquitex modeling paste, and I decided to mix it up with some Pearl-Ex powder. These are mica powders. This one is in Sunset Gold. You could use old eyeshadow, anything like that, just for something different. You could even mix it with acrylic paint or anything. And what I thought was interesting is, rather than gold, it turned my modeling paste this brown color, but I'm hoping that when it dries it's going to be kind of coppery and gold. So right now it's not really an appealing color at all, but I'm going to go with it. So I'm just going to take a little bit on my palette, little knife here, and we'll smear it on. And I have a I don't want it to be too thick. I don't want to get it all there. So, well, at least you'll be able to see it nice when I pull it off, hopefully. I like it a lot. I'll just use this damp cloth here to clean up any edges while it's still wet. What do you think? Looks pretty cool, right? So, like I said, I'm hoping it'll dry with some kind of a shimmer to it. If not, oh well. And I'm going to just kind of go about the page, like over here, down here, and over here. So I'll see you back here when that's all done. These are nice and dry, and I really like the way it's coming out. I wouldn't have picked that, but that's the whole point, right? So our next step is to add splatters, drips, or runs, and I've decided to add some splatters, and I'm going to try out, I just got these India ink, Dr. P.H. Martin's. I'm excited to use them. They're permanent, and I'm just going to take the teal and the blue and some white and splatter around the page. Now I am going to put some gloves on, and I'll just show you quick how I'm going to do this, and then as per usual I'll finish off camera, because sometimes it takes me a long time. And I also cut a piece of wax paper. I am going to try to preserve this hand as much as I can, so we shall see. But let's try with the white first. I'm just going to have a pipette, and I'm just going to take a little bit and put it in my dish here, and then, and I like this tray that this comes with because the bottles can stand up in it. Very cool. Look at my dirty palette dish. I'm going to take this toothbrush, old toothbrush, rub it in the ink, and use my finger to splatter. Now, you guys probably can't see that because I need an awful lot more. So, let me get some more. And you know what? I'll just kind of, oh, that's the way to do it. That's what we'll do. Never mind the toothbrush. I'll just use the pipette. Just kind of splotch, and I'll do all of the colors that I just showed you before, okay? So I'm just going to kind of splotch around. I'm not going to let anything run. I'll just let it lay where it lay, and then when that's dry, I'll come back and show you what we got. Okay, I got a little ahead of myself and I moved on to the very last step, which is to paint, ink, or doodle a border or frame. And I used my trusty Faber-Castell Pitt pen. This is a big brush pen, and I just went around the outside edge and I kind of activated the ink a little bit with a water brush. This will dry permanent. And then I thought, and I haven't done it yet, I have this gold a metallic gel pen, and I thought I would just kind of go around that black edge on the inside. Just, you won't really be able to see it, but I'll know it's there and it'll add a little glint just to finish it off. Okay, so I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to put a coat of this Americana sealer. This is in matte. I also have a gloss, but I'm going to use matte for this project. And then I'll show you when that's all dry and done, and we'll be finished. So see you in just a minute. Okay, you guys, I am really happy with the way this page turned out. I'm going to insert some pics at the end here so you can see it close up. If you like the way it turned out, I would love it if you give me a thumbs up. Check out all the information in the description box below, including links to Mike Deakin's Facebook group and all the supplies I've used in this video. I hope you guys are having a great week. I hope this inspired you, and come back again next month for another Mission Inspiration. Take care, you guys. Peace and love. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.